Were they robbed or not in Kaunas?
Dunston catches the ball with 1.3, he lands with 1.0, and he releases the ball with 0.4 seconds. So when Nedovic leaves the ground, Mitchell's left side and his left foot, left leg are still moving. The referee should have had an unsportsmanlike foul in this situation. The bad news for Red Star is that this protest is never going to get accepted.
Hello everyone, welcome to a Basket News show, Give Me Control. I'm Donatas Urbonas and I'm joined by Todd Warnick, a former top-level European referee and referee coach. This season, Todd shares his refereeing insights weekly through articles and videos, and you can find all the analysis in the Give Me Control section on the BasketNews.com website. And today, we're going to break down the controversial ending of the Zalgiris and the Red Star Round 6 game in Kaunas, along with numerous critical statements coming from the Red Star. For instance, Red Star president Željko Dirčelić was quoted by Sporthall saying, "How is it that everyone knows everything when the point difference is at 20, and whenever there's a tie, it's not the basketball that decides the outcome, but the referees? Maybe a diplomatic tone would be desirable, but that's for gentlemen and fair play. Here, we're experiencing brutal thefts in front of millions of people. So I ask you, do the refs have the task of determining the winner, and who gives them these tasks?" He also said, "Gentlemen from the EuroLeague, what was done in the match with Barcelona and tonight is called theft in our country. So ask yourself if this has become a thieves' league. I'm ashamed of your nonsense." Following the loss, one of the top Red Star players, Nemanja Nedovic, said, "We managed to come back and had a chance to take the lead, but then these three guys got pretty involved." Of course, he meant referees. "I haven't been part of a game like this in a long time." Red Star's coach Yannis Varopoulos even filed a protest during the fourth quarter, appealing for an uncalled act of violence on Alen Smailagić, who elbowed Nikola Kalinic during his layup attempt, and then he stormed out of the press conference in Kaunas without answering any questions, insisting that his players were the true winners. So, Todd, we have a pretty heated atmosphere out there. The floor is yours, but just tell me, when you were officiating in the EuroLeague, when you were working in the EuroLeague, what was the initial reaction from the referee community from the EuroLeague to games and situations like this? Can you recall any moments like that from your working experience lately?
I think that things have gotten pretty heated in the last year or so, and even more so than when I was involved in the EuroLeague. When I was involved, and up until 2023, we would receive videotapes from coaches after games. I think the director of referees, then Richard Stokes, would receive phone calls, which he generally, I think, did not answer immediately because he knew that these phone calls were very emotionally charged, and he liked to talk to people the next morning when they had a chance to calm down and understand and review the situations. So I think things have gotten really heated in the last year or so. I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe it's because there's more technology, there's the referees under more scrutiny, and maybe also that there have been more mistakes, and we haven't gone a EuroLeague round yet without having some major referee event, which was not the case in the past. And I point you to last season also, the first half of the season especially. We had these discussions every week. If you go back and look at last year's games, we had these discussions every week. And I think things calmed down a little bit in the second half of the season, but certainly in the first half of the season, there were constant discussions about the officiating in every round. And this year has proven to be no different so far.
Yeah, and regarding Red Star, you can kind of understand them being heated because it's just 2 weeks away from a game where 7 incorrect decisions were admitted by the EuroLeague in the end of the game against Barcelona, which basically could have caused them a big victory. So facing questions and doubts that they had on officiating.
Not only officiating decisions, but there was a significant rules there also in that Barcelona game. So I think there's a lot of frustration on their part, and they're an emotional team to begin with, and this just unfortunately adds to negative emotions on their part, and with some understanding to a certain extent, and I think they're expressing those frustrations in what you heard last night after the game.
Yeah, and as we saw preparing for this episode, there are a lot of questionable calls. But let's start from the one that literally decided the game, because it was a game winner. And what was also interesting, that in the official announcement right after the game, Red Star called it a shame and disgrace for the EuroLeague, but he also specifically pointed out Bryant Dunstan's game winner by saying, how was the clock handled before Dunstan's last basketball in Kaunas, and who is responsible for this oversight? And for instance, former EuroLeague and Red Star player Vlade Stimac also tweeted, they didn't let time. This is a shame. In 1.3 seconds, you don't have time to catch the ball, jump, and throw it out of your hand. I expect serious suspensions and thorough checks to be carried out regarding this game. So I had two questions for you. How late was the clock when Dunstan caught the ball? And did he get the shot off in time?
Well, first of all, there were some significant errors in the fourth quarter that didn't go Red Star's way, and but this play the referees handled correctly. And if we go back, first I think we have to go back to Miller McIntyre's shot, which on the game clock or on the TV you saw that there was 1 second left when the clock was stopped. And then the referees went to review the game clock, and they reset it correctly to 1.3 seconds. So the key moment, the key frame when they're reviewing that is when the ball goes completely through the basket. And once we see the ball clear the net completely, we see that there's 1.3 seconds left on the clock. So first of all, they reset the clock correctly to 1.3. Then on the inbounds play, as far as I can see, that clock was operated.
The entire episode is available only for BM Plus members. Join BM Plus on basketnews.com/plus. We have some great deals at the moment, and among a lot of extra features that BM Plus membership provides, you will get weekly Give Me Control episodes or articles on basketnews.com.